Guys, welcome back to another video. I'm actually having to re-record this because for some weird way my last one got deleted. Without further ado, before we lead into this next one, I would just like to remind you guys to please hit the like button, hit subscribe. It only helps me out. I'm hoping to hit 200 subscribers soon. And please do leave a comment with any article about any kind of, weird natural history of the U.S. that you guys would like for me to go over. It only helps out the channel, and without further ado, have you guys ever wondered just why there are so many pigeons flying around cities here in the United States? Because I kind of did at some point, the pigeons are the things no one ever really thinks about, to be honest with you, because it's just they're such more of a nuisance bird that you wouldn't think they'd actually have any kind of a real purpose here in the U.S., but believe it or not, at one point they did, and their history now is you actually aren't allowed to do what they were originally brought here to do. So that's going to be kind of fun to find out, but for now, let's go ahead. We're going to read up on this cool article I found about pigeons and how they got to cities, what they were doing in the United States, and without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. So, as usual, guys, I like to start out with these. I did not write this article. I do not own any kind of rights to this article. I'm merely using it to pass along information. If you guys would like to read the article yourselves, please go here to scienceabc.com or scienceabc. Crap, sorry. Please go to scienceabc.com and feel free to read this article for yourself, or just stick around and we'll go over this in the video. So, why do cities have so many pigeons? Pigeons have a natural affinity for hard surfaces. They like concrete, marble, and stone structures, which are abundant in cities. Pigeons are uniquely suited for city life because they have mastered the art of nesting on these hard structures as it mimics their rocky and hard natural habitats. Hopefully in this one you guys actually find out where pigeons are naturally from. Because that actually surprised me when I found out.
I know.
Human history is intermingled with some of nature's mightiest species, but they also exist a not-so-mighty species that rise above them all. They are underrated but have been human companions for millennia. The noble pigeon. There's a picture of the pigeon. That looks more like a dove, but that's a pretty pigeon. Or a white dove. See? I was right. People, especially in cities, have very polarized opinions about them. Some love them and feed them with breadcrumbs, pulses, and even leftover food. Others consider them a nuisance. They see them as pests and carriers of disease. They even have a popular nickname, rats with wings. Whatever your stance may be, if you live in a big city, you have to deal with them. Despite these contrasting opinions, one thing that people will agree on is that pigeons are ubiquitous in cities, especially those located near a coast. Be it New York, London, Mumbai, or Melbourne, it's hard to miss them in big cities. But have you ever wondered why pigeons are so successful in terms of prospering cities across the globe? Why are they so much more plentiful than other birds like eagles, turkeys, and vultures? Man, there's a lot of ads on this thing. The Origin of Species. If you open the book on the origin of species and read the first chapter, you'll notice that Darwin doesn't start with animals that he famously observed in the tropics. He doesn't start with the tortoise, nor does he start with the finches or the giant fossilized armadillos. Instead, he starts explaining his theory with pigeons. I have never read The Origin of Species. Now I really kind of want to, because I didn't know that he, Darwin, the guy who's famous for evolution, starts his famous book with facts about pigeons. That's actually really funny. This is pigeons. They are damned interesting, is what that says. Alright. Darwin was intrigued by the resilience and adaptability of these flying creatures. He was amazed by the fact that pigeons lover had created a huge variety of pigeon breeds, 300 plus, from a single species, Columbia livia, the rock pigeon. He then used pigeons as an example to expound his own game-changing theory of natural selection. Devicote man-made houses for pigeons. Thousands of years before pigeons began feasting on hot dog buns and other leftovers of human food, these birds were found on the seaside cliffs. However, as humans learned the art of agriculture and animal husbandry, rock pigeons were soon domesticated by humans for food and as pets. In fact, we built dedicated homes for them called devicotes, which are still found in some parts of Europe and Asia. It was a sign of honor to build these giant pigeon houses. If you guys didn't know, pigeons This is pretty much it. Pigeons were brought over to the United States and other cities basically as food and kind of like pets. So pretty much like cats and dogs, essentially. Like originally, or probably like a better example would be like goats. Like they were livestock. We bred them to eat them or to show them. How did pigeons come to the U.S.? Well, the Europeans brought them. Basically what I told you. Europeans were very fond of these birds, so when they migrated to North America in the 16th century, they brought pigeons with them. Some of the pigeons escaped and proliferated, sorry, I can't talk today, across cities in America where the human population was growing. Gradually, populations of the pigeons exploded in cities like Boston, San Francisco, and New York because, believe it or not, cities are tailor-made for pigeons. Easy access to food. Pigeons love cities with dense human populations because that translates into better availability of food for them. Unlike other birds, pigeons can easily thrive on human food, including leftovers. They are often seen eating leftover rice, bagels, donut buns, and potato chips in American cities. Thus, the ability to consume human leftover food has made them very suitable for city life. So basically, I want to say, as odd as it is to sound, like pigeons don't, like, their diet consists primarily, at least pigeons in cities, consists almost primarily of human food. Like, they don't actually, in like cities, they don't actually go and eat other like bugs like regular birds do. I mean, I'm sure they do, but primarily it's pigeons. Like, it's human food. Like, people just feed them or they just get it out of the trash or whatever. So, easy shelter. In their original habitat, rock pigeons nest on cliffs and spend their life near the sea. However, as cities and civilizations started to prosper near the sea, they moved in. For these pigeons, buildings were just like cliffs, albeit with better architecture. Pigeons have a natural affinity for hard surfaces. They like concrete, marble, and stone structures, which are abundant in cities. Pigeons are uniquely suited for city life because they have mastered the art of nesting on these hard structures, as they mimic their rocky and hard natural habitats. Cities are abundant with places that make good nesting places for pigeons, such as AC units, fire escapes, or even the ledges decoratively built on some old buildings. So that's why you see pigeons building nests in like the mouths of gargoyles in movies, or like basically just any little nook and cranny they can make a nest in. More reproduction. Easy access to food, an easy home. What else do you need? Easy breeding. Pigeons are a species that breed throughout the year. The easy availability of food and shelter means that pigeons spend a lot less time searching for food and more time mating. That's why we see the pigeon population exploding out of control in certain cities. I think it's like a fun little like note on there that like we just basically created like the best habitat possible for them. Just talk, Taylor. I can cut it out.
Like here.
Like the cities here?
Yeah.
Yep.
The pigeon population is rising up.
Yeah, there's lots of pigeons around here, huh? Alright. Excellent navigating capabilities. Another reason why pigeons are highly successful in cities is they are incredible navigators. Scientists are still working to understand the mechanism behind their navigation abilities. Some pigeons can be driven hundreds of miles away, yet still manage to navigate back to their home. These navigation skills and pigeons in moving through the complex cityscapes. So that's how you get like carrier pigeons, you know, like the messenger pigeons that people send back and forth to one another. They could literally go across the United States. If you like took one from one place and drove it to the next place, you could just give them a note and they will fly it all the way back across the United States. Like, they're just that good at getting there. United States might be a little bit of an overkill kind of thing or statement, but it's pretty close to that. Like, they can go a long ways. My cat just laid down behind my computer. Published in the Journal of Experimental Biology, posits that this ability has something to do with infrasound, an extremely low-frequency sound wave emitting from the ocean and reverberating throughout the planet. Researchers believe that by using these low-frequency signals, pigeons can make mental maps of their surroundings, which aids their navigational repertoire. Pigeons have big eyes with 5 color receptors as compared to 3 in human eyes, which lets them see things we can't even imagine. This incredible vision, amplified with their navigational abilities, makes it easy for pigeons to locate food in any neighborhood. Dearth of natural predators. Another thing working in favor of pigeons in cities is the death of apex, the Darth, D-E-A-R-T-H. I don't know why they're saying it like that, but of apex predators like falcons and hawks. In the case of cities in U.S., pigeons didn't have natural predators for a long time. This is partially due to the usage of insecticide DDT, which started in the U.S. after World War I. The use of DDT made the eggshells of raptors like falcons and hawks very thin, leading to decrease in their population. Interestingly enough, pigeons are good at avoiding predators and other moving objects like automobiles. One study discovered that pigeons rarely crash, making them one of the best flyers in the natural world. Pigeons are quite acrobatic, so it's not easy for predators or to prey on pigeons. So we kind of created our own problem there with DDT, which was horrible. Basically took away a lot of the natural predators for pigeons, and their population exploded in cities. And now there's hawks and falcons and stuff that live in cities that feed solely on pigeons. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. It's also really good, so in one sense, but like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Sorry, I got like gray stuff going around my face. Okay. Here we go. When the pigeon population exploded beyond control. In New York, there's an adage. There's one pigeon for every New Yorker. That would mean there are more than 7 million pigeons in the city. Whether or not that's true, many urbanites in New York feel that the city isn't large enough for both species. In 2003, things got so bad in iconic Bryant Park that a professional falconer was hired to scare the pigeons away. Pigeons were flocking the park and literally littering all around. The idea was to terrify pigeons regularly with predators like falcons, so they would eventually stopped roosting, and feeding in Bryant Park. So basically, they had to pay somebody to bring in a falcon to scare away all the pigeons. That's actually really funny. In Thailand's capital, Bangkok, pigeons have flocked beyond the city limits. Bangkok's municipal corporation is considering a proposal prohibiting people from feeding pigeons. Violators could be fined 25,000 baht, or $800, for 3 months of imprisonment or both. Interestingly, Italy long ago passed laws and made it illegal to feed pigeons in Venice. That's nuts. You actually have to have laws in place to keep people from feeding pigeons so they won't overrun your city. That is actually kind of crazy. A final word. So this is the end closing. For centuries, pigeons have been the companions of humans. Initially, they served as a good source of protein in the form of squab, which is pigeon broth, I think. I don't know. Maybe we can look that up sometime, or you can look it up yourself. Please, if you know, leave in the comments what squab is and if it tastes good. For some, they were cute, cuddly, flying pets. In fact, we even built dedicated homes for them. But with the rapid urbanization and the human population gradually concentrating in cities, our relationship with pigeons seems to have changed. Many of us now see them as pests, proliferating in our cities, often beyond control. In the U.S., the pigeons is one of the few birds that doesn't come under federal protection. In fact, there's an entire industry dedicated to their removal. Whether or not you support this industry, one thing you must surely appreciate about pigeons is their incredible ability to adapt and navigate through complex city environments, even if it does mean the occasional dropping on a car windshield. And then there's some associated reading, which I would let you guys go through and find on your own, because, yeah, there is a lot. So, in closing, why are there a ton of pigeons in American cities? Because we brought them over here to eat them, keep them as pets, and then they escaped and they exploded in population. I can't believe, I learned a lot on this article. I can't believe Darwin starts the origin of species by talking about pigeons and comparing, how we've bred them into different kind of, I guess just morphs of them, color morphs. But that was, a lot of cool information. I hope you guys learned something. In my opinion, maybe, we need to go back to maybe eating pigeon again. It might not taste bad. I don't honestly know. I don't think I've ever tried pigeon. I've tried a lot of other weird things in different places. But, hey, what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below on what you guys think we should we could actually do about the problem. And yeah, hey guys, until next time, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below with anything you'd like to see me cover in the future. And until next time, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace.